Like last month, I've gathered up all of your pipe smoking questions and I'm going to be answering them in this video. Well, welcome back, guys, to the Spurgeon Piper. This is Wilson with you. So as I did last month, I gathered up all of your questions from YouTube comments and Facebook comments and emails, things like that, as much as I could to fit in this video. And I want to try to answer them as best as I can. I got about 14 of them if I got the count right. So we'll try to get through all of them. They're not in any specific order, so let's go ahead and get into it. The first question is from Simon Woods on an old video of mine. How do you use rubber tips on your mouthpiece? Thanks. What he's referring to when it comes to the rubber bits is this right here, these little guys. And what they do is they fit right over the mouthpiece of your pipe as such, like this, and therefore you can clinch onto it. And that way it doesn't hurt your teeth, it doesn't hurt your pipe. And they're useful in that regard. How do you use them? Like that. I mean, you basically just fit them over and then you can clinch it as needed. Here's the thing, I don't use them anymore. I never got used to them. They feel bulky in your mouth. And then I just gotten better at clinching the pipe without clinching the pipe, if that makes sense. Doing it where it doesn't hurt my teeth and then it doesn't hurt the pipe. It kind of hangs loosely. And then also it helps that my pipes are on the lighter side. I purposely do that because I do clinch a lot because I have to have my hands free for reading or writing, what have you. So if you want to try them, they're very inexpensive. You can buy a handful of them for I don't know how much, but you can check them out, decide if it's something for you. The next question is from Piping Cynic. Piping Cynic asks, can you go over tasting notes generally for each type of blend? Not necessarily ingredients, but what makes an English not a Balkan? So there's kind of two questions there. Let me handle the first one, and I'm going to go through this very fast. This is something worthwhile to go through individually, hitting on every certain different blend. Let me use example of what I have here in front of me. Some of these ones are somewhat similar, but I think I can get the message across. What he's getting at is, of course, obviously, every type of tobacco blend is made up of certain leaf that has certain characteristics. So for instance, let's just start with this Davidoff Flank Medallions. This is a Virginia and Perique blend. So the Virginias, they're going to be more red Virginias. Those are some brights. And so you take bright Virginia. That's usually going to be a characteristic. It's going to be bright or citrusy, grassy. It usually goes hand in hand with bright Virginias. Red Virginias are usually going to be darker, breadier, fruitier notes, things like that. And even amongst those, there's distinctions. Perique is going to have, usually you hear guys say it's raisiny, like a peppery, spice raisiny flavor, deep stewed fruits. So that those are distinctions already in a blend. You know, you have your bright Virginia blends, like golden Orlik golden slice. Then you have your dark blends. You think of Carolina Red Flake by Cornell and Diehl, and then of course you get the mixtures like something like this. Scudo is the same thing, although again the flavors can be a bit distinguished. Davidoff also has Black Cavendish, and Black Cavendish is used in all sorts of things, and it doesn't have a really strong flavor. It could be a bit sweet or brown sugary. Some people describe it like that, but it's more of a condimental leaf process that can help cool off a blend or shape off the sharp edges, just add a bit of sweetness. Then you have blends that have more burley in them, like McBaron Navy Flake. This is Virginia and burley, but the burley is going to be nutty. Now have some molasses flavor. You have maybe some woody flavors or nutty flavors in it. And then even there's distinctions. You have like your white burley, your dark burley. They can have some distinctions amongst those types of leaf. And so then you get blends like that where there's a makeup of them and you have pulling in from Virginias and then burleys. You have blends that have a variety of leaf in them, like this Brothers in Arms that I recently reviewed on the Patreon channel. In Brothers in Arms, it does have Perique, I mentioned, it has burley. It also has Oriental and Turkish leaf. Oriental and Turkish leaf is marked by either floral notes or maybe some baking spice notes, even buttery notes, kind of depending on where it's sourced from and how it's handled. It also has rich Virginias, burleys, as I mentioned, and then it has dark-fired Kentucky. And that's very prominent in this blend. In dark-fired Kentucky, it's almost like smoking barbecue. Believe it or not. It's a very dark and smoky and rich and earthy, maybe you even say kind of like leathery, getting into the cigar world a bit. And that marks that type of leaf. It's quite distinguished. It's a burly leaf, but it's been dark fired, going through a different process. And then you have, and you mentioned this in your second comment, you have English and Balkan blends, but specifically what makes an English blend an English blend is both Latakia and Oriental leaf. And Latakia leaf, like for instance in this Good Morning, which is a light English blend, Latakia is just really smoky. But you think, well, yeah, it's pipe smoking, but it has a smoky, woody characteristic to it that stands apart from the other types of leaf. And then of course Oriental. Now, piping to your question on what makes an English not a Balkan, I'm going to go off of, I believe this is what GLP's mentioned in an article, which was really helpful. And there's probably disagreement on this, but in English is more Latakia forward with the Oriental behind, and the Balkan is more Oriental forward with the Latakia behind it. All right, so is that gospel? Like, is that for sure the standard? I guess it depends, and some may disagree, but that's what I've gone with and how I've understood it. Others can take that for what they will. Tob8CCO, I'm going to pronounce it that way. What got you into pipe smoking? I think I covered this in the last video. I don't recall. My memory is not so great. But I'll keep it brief just in case I did. Basically, my wife got into it. She gave me a pipe for a gift because she knew it was something I was interested in from, like many of you, Lord of the Rings background and Tolkien, the Middle-earth legendarium, kind of bringing that into my life, as well as having professors and seminary professors who were pipe smokers, as well as historical figures that I latched onto just from reading or interest. And so it was really her. She was the entryway, and I never looked back. Ryan Green, this is from the Facebook page. Outside of your home and office, where are your favorite places to smoke? Do you typically smoke when you're just out running errands, or do you make a point to be in certain places or doing certain things? Where do I smoke outside of my office? Really nowhere. Well, I take that back. There may be a 10% time I'm traveling and I go to a pipe shop, or I'm with other friends, usually they're pastors or theologians, and I get together and we'll smoke a pipe together. Others locations, if it's not my home and office, it's at a member of my church where we get together and we do the same thing. But I've mentioned this before. I don't really smoke my pipe with others that often. It's more of an individual practice, whereas cigars I usually smoke in fellowship. But as far as like walking or anywhere else, I rarely do so. I really have tied pipe smoking with reading and writing. I really can't disconnect them, and I really don't associate them with much else. So that's why, yeah, usually it's either here on my desk or I sit in one of my chairs in my office and I'm in the midst of reading or doing something like that. Russell Miller asks, where did you get your wardrobe? You are the best dressed piper on YouTube. Thank you, Russell. I really appreciate that. And I do get this question quite a lot, and it's a really easy question. It actually should make all of you happy if you do care. Amazon. Yeah, unfortunately where I am here in Wichita Falls, Texas, there's not a great source for a lot of nice menswear. There used to be a location from what I was told, and then it closed down. Not surprising, but so I've had to depend mostly on Amazon. There are some other locations online that I've purchased from, or if I'm traveling, I'll take advantage of a location. But if you're just looking at what I have on right now, I think everything here is from Amazon. So I do have an Amazon list that you can look down on below, and I should have, usually what people are asking about are these vests. And I do have it listed in that wish list below. If you want to check it out, go through there. They're pretty inexpensive, and it should help you out. Randy Overly asks, what is your favorite preferred tobacco storage? Let me make a distinction here between preferred and then favorite. Preferred, I just like having my tobacco in the original storage. I like the look of the tin. It looks nice. It's easy to open and close. It's pretty handy to have available. It's just, I prefer it that way. Now, favorite, and what I go to more often than not, which is not a surprise, most do, is the good old mason jar. You just can't beat it. I know you can vacuum pack and there's some other methods, but you just can't beat the mason jar in my opinion. And they come in different sizes. You can get the smaller ones, you can get the ones that are like kind of short stacks, what have you. I like this look the best, and it doesn't really matter. It's just about preference really and how you want to stack them. But yeah, mason jars like this, it's the best way to store them. If you keep your blends and the original tins too long, these probably hold out more than the American style, but they're not far off, but they will eventually dry out. So you do want to eventually, if not immediately, you want to eventually have them transferred over to mason jars, and that's why I go with them 9 times out of 10. Bob Evanson asks, Pipers talk about smoking aged tobacco all the time. What are your favorite blends that you smoke fresh? That's a good question, Bob. I probably smoke most blends fresh. There are occasionally I'll have one I'll pull out of the cellar to smoke now, but usually I like to really get them over into the 5+ year mark. So I'm still kind of in that process, and I'll eventually pull one out that's 5+ years, and it's great, and it does an amazing job for most blends to age it. That's why it's talked about all the time. But if I like a blend, I'll smoke it fresh, and it's fine. The only ones it's probably better to answer this question like, what don't I smoke fresh? And what I don't smoke fresh are usually bright Virginia blends, because I don't really like bright Virginia blends. But what makes me like them more is when they're aged. Again, Golden Slice is just the best example I usually go to for this. There's plenty of other ones like that. Samuel Gay with Full Virginia Flake, another example for you. It's more on the bright side. I like to have a little deeper. So yeah, really, I just smoke them fresh. Don't feel like you have to really wait and have them aged to enjoy the blend. It certainly is helpful when you age blends, especially some blends like bright Virginia or Virginia altogether, Virginia Perique blends, things like that. They're super and great, but you can enjoy just about anything fresh, and I usually do. Carl Hudson asks, briar versus other wood materials, effect, tastes, benefits, negatives. Brian, I want to go on my experience. That's all I really can go on, and others may be different. So by and large, my best experience of smoking a pipe has been from my briar wood pipe. And I have tried others, and I do have others. And I just mentioned in a recent video, for instance, meerschaum, and I really enjoy meerschaum pipes. I've grown more appreciative of meerschaum pipes, but I still give the first place to briar. Now, as far as other woods, you do have other woods out there, like pear wood, cherry wood. Those are some popular ones. And I have smoked just one that is a non-briar pipe. This one here, which is a ranger pipe. It's supposed to be a replica of Aragorn's from Lord of the Rings. And I believe it's made out of cherry wood, and I don't really enjoy smoking it. The flavors are distinct. It smokes cool, and it's a bit of a semi-church warden or an outright church warden, but I don't really enjoy smoking that much. It mostly just stands out as an ornament on my desk or my shelf. But as far as other options, I couldn't really tell you. My experience is mostly in briar, and it's a safe bet. I'm sure there's some great choices out there that are of woods that are non-briar, but that's what my experience is. And then of course you have, and you're not asking so much about non-wood, but I'll mention it since it's related. Then of course you have, most people know about corn cobs. I don't really smoke corn cobs either, because I don't get a lot of, as well of a flavor profile as I do with briar pipes. Now I'll use them, and I use them for certain things like trying out a new blend or smoking an aromatic pipe, but by and large I'm going to stick with briar. John Royer, how long do your full bill smokes normally last on average? It depends, John, of course, on the type of blend I'm smoking. Is it a flake, or is it a ribbon cut, or somewhere in between, or is it a plug? All of those take a different amount of time to smoke. It also depends on moisture. Are you smoking a really wet blend that needs to dry out? But even then, I'm thinking like something like a Gaywith and Hogarth or Samuel Gaywith blend, which are usually on the wetter side. It may take more time to smoke than a different blend from a different companies. But all those things considered, and I probably smoke more ribbon cuts, though not always. Sometimes I smoke more flakes because I do prefer flakes. But I'm gonna throw out somewhere between 35 and 40, or 30 and 40 minutes, give or take 10 minutes on that or below that, depending on how I pack it, and if I'm smoking too quick, if I'm losing track of how I'm smoking by focusing on something else, all those things. But yeah, that's my my norm. There are some guys who are far better smoking than I am, and they'll go into the hour time, but that's just usually not my case. So they're probably right in that middle mark of 30, 40 minutes. Jason Flores, what Virginia blends do you like fresh out of the tin without aging? This kind of goes into the other question about aging blends, or what I like to smoke fresh. Now, what Virginia blends do I smoke fresh, like right out of the tin without aging? They're usually going to be red Virginia blends, and that includes Virginia blends with Perique. And I already have some I mentioned on the table, for instance, like Davidoff Medallions or Escudo Navy Deluxe, or I have back here Peterson Deluxe Navy Rolls. Those are some examples at the moment, and that includes Low Country Adhesive of Cornell and Diehl, which is also one of their pure red Virginia blends I've I've enjoyed. And again, so mostly red Virginia because I like the notes already in a red Virginia notes or in a red Virginia blend. So I'm usually going to go with those. If it has pre, just extra points on top of it because they just go well together in their profiles. So yeah, red Virginia, I'm going to sprout usually fresh out of the blend or fresh out of the tin. John Ing. John, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. What are your thoughts on resting pipes? How many bowls can you smoke out of a pipe on any given day? Is it really smoke one bowl and rest it for 48 hours then? Now, I covered this in a video some time ago, years ago, and my opinion's probably about the same, or at least my practice is. So what are your thoughts on resting pipes? I think there is definitely a benefit. And I know usually the response is going to be, well, back in the day, people didn't do it. No, they didn't have the luxury we do. They didn't try to have the best smoke as possible, whether focusing on the blend or focusing on the pipe. And there are a number of things today in our age that we are able to do all the more better or enjoy all the more because of the benefits we have today. And that's like it with pipe tobacco. So if you just like to stick with one blend and one pipe and go at it day after day after day, you can do that. And I've done that. But there is a benefit of resting a pipe. It seems to pull forward more flavors as you do. Now, what's the time frame? Is it 2 days? I don't know. Maybe it could be. When I have my collection now that I have, I'll tell you my practice. Now that I have the collection I do have, I usually have 2 pipes on hand the day I'm going to be smoking my pipe, and I'll go back to back and enjoying both of them. All right, so I pack one and I enjoy it and I'm done with it. I clean it quickly out and I'll put it back and I'll let it rest. And then I go to the next one, whether that's immediate or whenever the rest of the day I'm going to be smoking it. And then I'll go back to the next one if I'm going to have it more than one day. Or if I'm just smoking once in that day, I'll smoke that one pipe and then the next day I'll grab the other one or what have you. And then at some point, and I can't give this line of it's right here, you have to learn it. But at some point, I can taste. I need to let these rest. So I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to put them up in my rack, and I want to move on to a next set of pipes. And then I can come back to them maybe in 4 days or over a week, just depending on my mood, if I'm going to go back to them, what have you. Could I go back to them after I leave them both be for a whole day or two? Would they be fine? Probably so. So just decide it on yourself. There are some rules or guidelines that are helpful in pipe smoking. We shouldn't just throw them out because we like to be contrary to everything people say. But you don't have to be dogmatic about them. Give it a shot. If you feel like you have a better experience by letting your pipes rest, at least 2 days, awesome. Keep doing that. If you feel like, hey, after a day or even less, they still smoke fine to me, then get after it and smoke them that often. It's just up to you and your experience. Tom Westfall asked, what was the blend that hooked you on smoking a pipe? That's an easy one. It wasn't the first blend I tried. The first blend I tried was 10 Star, which was just dreaded and awful. I'll have a video on it if you want to check it out. It's not really even a pipe blend. But the one I tried that just hooked me, I knew this was for me, was Super Value Buttered Rum. And I wouldn't even hardly smoke this today, which of course I don't think you can. I think this went out of its way with Sutliff. But even if it was around, I wouldn't smoke it that often. It's an aromatic, but I would still smoke it occasionally for the nostalgia itself. Because when I tried this, I just had all that wonderful flavoring of buttered rum with it's sweet, bit buttery, a bit of the alcoholic taste, just some of the natural flavors of the blend coming through. It was fantastic. I was like, what an amazing treat this is. And I was sold. And then of course I went on to some other things and other blends, but this one will always have a little place in my heart because it really latched me to the hobby. So I have this on hand. I'll pull it out occasionally just to kind of sit back and reminisce, but this was the blend for me. Well guys, I want to cut it there. I hope that was helpful. And if you had a question you didn't get answered, I'll try to go back and find it and answer it personally for you. And then in the coming month, I'll do this again, as I know there were more questions to cover. So that's all I have. I hope you're doing well and you're blessed. We'll talk to you very soon.